Hi guys, welcome back to Newcastle Fans TV. This video is sponsored by OneFootball. It's a fantastic app. Me, Will, Lee, all the gang have got it on Newcastle Fans TV. It'll give you all the latest on transfers for Newcastle and stats about the next game. The next game, Will, is Chelsea. Before the Chelsea game, I will mention that we have done a couple of bits with BT Sport this morning. You might get to see me, Lee, or Will on TV. If you do, try and spot us and put us on Twitter and say that you've seen us in Will's hair. that'll be something which should be before the game. So before the game, the coverage starts at 5 o'clock on BT Sport. On to the game on Saturday, Will, against Chelsea. I said to Rob after the Blackburn game, there's a damage limitation. My feelings haven't really changed from that. I think it's still going to be a very, very difficult afternoon. How do Newcastle and Rafa Benitez approach this?
It's a difficult one. I mean, I would believe it would be a similar approach to the Liverpool game, where we kind of went for some other, where sort of maybe a couple of the reserve players and save some of them for the Cardiff game, because that's a much bigger game to us. If we got anything from Chelsea, it would be a remarkable result. It would be incredibly unlikely, not impossible. We've seen Southampton go there and get a 0-0 draw. I think most fans will take that at this point, but we've got bigger fish to fry than with the home game in Cardiff. I'd rather, if it meant that everybody was fully fit and we had a full strength team for Cardiff, rest a couple of players against Chelsea.
The problem is when you play these teams like the Chelseas, like the Manchester Uniteds, like Liverpool's, nowadays, unfortunately, because of the gap between the top six and the rest of the teams in the Premier League, it is looking damage limitation. If someone offered you a 2-0 defeat, would you take 2-0 defeat?
If we won the Cardiff game. If you could offer me a defeat against Chelsea and a win against Cardiff, because obviously if you don't win the Cardiff game, then I think that's, you know, there's that's a bigger problem. Yeah. But the problem is that we've lost that many points in games that we should have got more from. These games, these important ones where we got home against City and away to Chelsea, that it looks like that we might have to pick up points here and there in order to help us out and be able to get the points that we need to do to survive.
A point will feel like 3. How do Newcastle get about doing that? We're going to try and predict a 1-11. Yeah. So we'll start in goal. It's easy. Martin Dubravka.
Yep, definitely. Yeah, no competition there. Really, don't have to talk about that one. 5 at the back. I don't think that will change. The 2 wing backs. I think it'll be Richie at left wing back, and I think he can't play.
Exactly, he's obviously ineligible because he's playing against his parent club, and I think it'll be John Jadlin at right wing back. In terms of the 3 centre halves, do you see any changes from the Manchester United game?
You might bring in Clark, and Lejeune I think will be on the bench because I think he'll want to save him for Cardiff, and then it'll be Lascelles and Shah, I think, in my opinion. So
I pick 3 out of those 4.
I pick those 3 because is Fernandes fit yet? Or
we've not heard anything, but obviously this is filmed before Benitez's press conference, so we'll know better by then. So we'll say Shah,
Lascelles and Clark.
I'd probably agree. Midfield, the 2 centre mids. We've got at the minute, before we have the Rafa's press conference, we have 2 fit central midfielders. Will one of them, Longstaff, who has just played 1 Premier League game, 1 FA Cup game, and another player, Isaac Hidden, who doesn't want to be at the club. Yep. Alarm bell should be ringing, shouldn't it, to try and get a centre midfielder in? But if Diarmi's fit, we'll have to go with Diarmi over Longstaff just for experience. But again, we're clutching at straws against a very, very difficult Chelsea side.
We are. I think it's too big a game just to drop Longstaff into it. If we could use somebody else, then that would be preferable. I know Shelby went to Barcelona to get some treatment for an injury that he's got. And again, I think Rafa's looking at the squad and thinking,
don't risk him.
Yeah, we don't want to risk it, because I'd rather, if they picked up injuries against Chelsea, then we really, I'd rather have the better players against Cardiff, so we have the best chance of winning that game.
So we'll go Hayden and Diarmi in the middle.
Yeah, I think you're going to have to in that one. We don't have much options there anymore. No.
I think the wingers, if you look from the Blackburn game, pick themselves. You look at Atsu. Yeah. You could look at Perez. You could look. I'm just trying to think who else at the top of my head. No, there's no Muto. Obviously, he's playing in the Asia Cup. Yeah. Is it Atsu and Perez? Maybe because Murphy didn't really show anything the other day.
Yeah, I was really disappointed with Murphy against Blackburn, but you just look at the team and just everybody lacks confidence. It's all so slow and lethargic, and the crowd can't sort of really get behind the team, and I think it's probably down to things that are happening off the pitch as well. But just need something to kind of get them going. And I mean, they all just need a bit of a confidence boost. Of those, I mean, I'd probably want to rest one of them in order to keep them for Cardiff. But if you're going to play Kennedy against Cardiff, I'd play Atsu. Then Perez, give or take, but I'd definitely consider swapping Perez for Murphy just to keep Perez fit, because it doesn't look like we're going to get Almir on him before Cardiff, if at all. So I think Perez is going to need to be rested a bit.
And then the striker, I would say 99 times out of 100 you'd pick Solomon Rondon, but if you look at the Liverpool game where Rafa's basically said, look, it's very unlikely that we're going to get a result, maybe still against Chelsea, and he might just rest him for an extra couple of days to make sure he's right for the Cardiff game and put Joselu in.
Yep.
But after watching Joselu the other day, if we can get one chance against Chelsea, we need Rondon to be on the end of it, surely.
True. I mean, I don't think I've ever seen as poor a performance from a Newcastle striker, and this includes Riviere.
Riviere was bad, wasn't he?
He was bad, but I think Joselu's worse. It's a difficult one because you don't want to risk Rondon. I think if we're trying to get, it's one of those ones where I think you play Rondon if you're wanting to get something from the game, but in this scenario where Rondon's fitness is really sort of hit and miss, and we need that Cardiff game to win, we can't afford to draw it. We need to win it. I think Joselu is going to play against Chelsea, which I don't want to say, but we should have greater options than that.
Tough when you've got Joselu starting up front, and then you look at Chelsea's squad. I'm just going to quickly touch on Chelsea. Eden Hazard, for me, on his day, if he's played at the top of his ability, is the best Premier League player.
He's one of the best in the world, let alone Premier League, and there's reasons why the biggest clubs in the world want him. And there's, I read articles this week saying that he's outgrown Chelsea, and it's very difficult for any players to outgrow Chelsea.
I think he has, personally. I think for him, he needs to go to Madrid and get a different challenge. But for me, I think if we can stop him, I'm not saying it will stop Chelsea, but it helps a massive deal.
It does. They have sort of dropped it a little bit at Chelsea, their levels. At the start of the season, like, really good. I remember when we were talking to the Chelsea fans here, they said they were really optimistic about the season. They liked Jorginho, they liked how it was all working together. Sarri ball, they talked a lot about. Recently, it's kind of dropped a bit, and they've gotten some bad results, and they've lost a couple of games, and they've got a couple of bad home draws. We mentioned the one against Southampton. So they have dropped off a bit. They'll still probably beat us. And they've got a very strong squad that they can play against us. Even their second string is probably stronger than our first choice. Actually, it's probably comfortably better than our first choice. And Hazard will probably play. Can we stop him? Probably not. He might try and switch it up to get fresh legs, bring in the likes of Morata and people like that. But yeah, we'll wait and see. But either way, it's going to be a difficult game.
Prediction, Will, for Saturday's game?
3-0 Chelsea.
I'll be slightly more optimistic. I'll go 2-0 Chelsea. Get your comments in below. Get your starting 11s on the comments. You want to see what you're going to go for? Do you go 5 at the back? Do you start Joselu? Do you start Rondon? And the next 3 games: Chelsea, Blackburn, Cardiff. What is the order of importance? For me, it'd go Cardiff, Blackburn, then Chelsea. I think, for me, if we can get a good win over Blackburn, it'll help us going into Cardiff. Get your comments in below, like, subscribe to Newcastle Fans TV, and we'll see you next time.